creamy cauliflower cheese. Let's make it.
Now this one's really easy to put together and tastes amazing. We're going to need one large cauliflower. Just slice off any of the leaves and you can discard or use them in a soup. Just trim this up, trimming around that root. Trim these into even sized florets, that way they'll cook at the same rate. And you can also use the stem, it's perfectly fine, it adds a little bit of sweetness. Add all of those into a large roasting dish like the one I have here. It's probably about 30 centimeters in length. Then we're going to drizzle over about 1 tablespoon of olive oil just to get that nice and coated up. Hit it up with a little bit of salt to taste, as well as about 20 cracks worth of pepper. Then just mix this around with your hands, making sure everything's evenly coated. And with that done, we can transfer this over to a preheated oven at 200 degrees Celsius or 400 degrees Fahrenheit. We're going to roast this for about 20 to 25 minutes, just until the tops are lightly charred. In the meantime, place a large saucepan over a medium-high heat. Add in 100 grams of unsalted cubed butter. We're going to mix this around, just allowing it to melt and just come to a slight boil. Then add in 50 grams of plain all-purpose flour. What we're going to do now is mix this around gently for about 2 minutes to cook out the flour, just until it starts to form a thick paste, which is called a roux, and it's spelled R-O-U-X. Once that's done, add in 420 milliliters of full-fat milk. Continue mixing and cooking this for about 2 to 3 minutes, just until it thickens up, and I recommend swapping over to a whisk for this part. And once you have that done, you can then add in 420 milliliters of thickened cream. I'll have a note in the description if you don't want to add that much cream, it's completely fine. And we're also going to grate some fresh nutmeg in there. I recommend about 1 teaspoon's worth, and then season it up with salt and ground white pepper. Also, the reason I use ground white pepper is just because I don't want any large chunks of black pepper through this. Anyway, once you have that done, whisk this all together until everything's combined. Check it for seasoning one last time, remove it from the stovetop. Then we can transform this from a bechamel to a mornay and grate in 120 grams of matured cheddar cheese and 80 grams of Gruyere cheese. Mix this all together until everything's combined. The cheese might not be fully melted at this point, that's completely fine, but you'll have a silky smooth sauce. Then we can remove that cauliflower from the oven. Just be careful because it can create quite a bit of steam that can come straight out at your face. Place this onto a heat-resistant surface, and then just pour over that Mornay sauce, trying to cover every single area. You can use a spatula just to help it out a little bit, and it's okay if a couple of little florets are popping out the top. They'll just get charred and add even better flavor. I also like to grate over some more matured cheddar cheese over the top. You don't have to do this if you don't want to, but who doesn't like that cheese skin on top? And the amount is completely up to you there, by the way. Then transfer this back over to the same temperature oven, and we're going to roast this for about 35 minutes, just until that top is beautifully golden. Then remove and let cool for about 10 minutes. Before we can then scoop this out, you have that beautiful silky smooth sauce. It looks amazing, it smells amazing, and it's absolutely delicious.